just trying to be as condescending as possible.
Two First Names, play by Danielle Woods. Lights up on Lucy and Nathan in the therapist's office. Nathan is sitting in an armchair, Lucy on a couch opposite Nathan. They both sit in silence. Nathan breaks the silence.
Would you like some water?
No, thank you.
Are you nervous?
Is that obvious?
Not really. I've just been at this for a while.
I'm just not entirely sure how it all works. I've never gone through stuff like this before. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been in therapy before, but nothing this,
Specific.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine. This is common for many of my clients.
So how does it all go? Do I start, do we just stare at one another until someone says something? How does it all work?
Well, let's start out with why you came here today.
My roommate Ashley, I think she's a client of yours, Ashley Perry. She suggested that I come see you. She thought I'd benefit from that.
Do you think you'd benefit from being here?
I always try something once.
I noticed in your pre-session survey you mentioned a Brendan Ryan.
We stopped seeing each other last week.
Oh, you and Brian were together.
I'm sorry, for like 6 months or so.
I'm sorry that things ended.
Well, you know what they say, don't cry because it's over, cry because it happened.
You feel like you need that boyfriend?
He wasn't my boyfriend.
You just said you were together for 6 months.
Well, we were seeing each other.
But you weren't dating. Oh, were you sleeping with other people?
Yeah, we both were. We never said anything about being exclusive.
Then why did things end?
We had our differences.
Tell me more about him.
6 foot, 5 inches, big blue eyes, slightly dark curly hair. He has one little dimple on the left lower corner of his mouth. He's perfect. Oh my God, and that smell.
That what?
His smell. You know, some people just have an aroma, a smell that's specifically theirs. Oh, Brendan Ryan had the aroma of a god. It was strong enough to be noticed, but never overwhelming. It's like a musty smell, like I just walked into an old basement, but at the same time, it's comforting, like
an old home you love.
Exactly! You could always tell when he walked in a room. Jesus, he drove me crazy. And he has a husky named Jazz. I love that dog so much. Brendan adopted him about 2.5 years ago. Rescued him, actually. Jazz had a broken leg, and Brendan nursed him back to health. They do everything together.
Why did things end?
He's a little much sometimes.
In what ways is he a little much?
He's a cuddler, and he likes to hold hands, and that's fine for him, but I'm just not I don't do that sort of, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable?
Yes, and he'd be all over me, like, all the time. He'd show up at my work, he'd wash my car, and every time I get a pack of Starbursts, he'd remove all the pink ones and save them for me because he knows they're my favorite.
I'm confused. It sounds like he wanted to make you very happy.
I don't know if this is for me.
Lucy rises and begins to gather her belongings.
Are you sure you want to leave?
Yes.
You shouldn't.
Why not? I sound ridiculous. This is pointless.
I assure you it is not pointless.
What makes you so sure?
I'm not sure about anything, but all I know is right now I'm intrigued by you and want to know more. You can trust me because I understand that relationships and romance and love are,
A fairy tale.
Want to try something?
Lucy puts down her bag and sits on the couch.
Now, I want you to try and describe to me what romance is in one word.
I don't know.
Okay, well, when I say the word romance, what's the first word that pops into your head?
Nonsense.
Lucy, you know it doesn't have to be nonsense, right?
But it is.
Why?
Because it's superficial. Like, somebody walked into a CVS, picked out an I love you card with some cute and gushy giraffe wearing a leotard. Like, that's supposed to be a placeholder for love? But there's no depth to that. Romance is a lazy way of showing somebody you love them.
You have strong beliefs. That That's admirable.
Most people tell women strong beliefs are unattractive.
Well, they're wrong. In my opinion, women with their own thoughts and opinions are the most attractive.
I just don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
I should have known, you know. He has 2 first names.
Ah, you're talking about Brendan Ryan.
You never trust anyone with 2 first names.
Why can't you trust a person with 2 first names?
Because they're flippy-floppy. One day they'll be Brendan, and the next day they'll be Ryan.
I see.
Are you laughing at me?
Well, I also have 2 first names.
It's clear you can't be trusted either.
Not trustworthy at all.
I'm here pouring out my feelings, and you're here laughing away.
I'm sorry, Lucy. Just you have an issue with people who have 2 first names and say they aren't trustworthy. But I think it's important to point out that you yourself have 2 first names.
I do not.
Yes.
You're wrong.
Lucy Chance?
Chance is not a first name.
It is.
Chance is like a name for a dog.
You mean like in a Homeward Bound? 2 dogs and a cat adventure across a mountain to return to their family.
You know that movie.
You know, just because I'm a psychiatrist doesn't mean I'm not a human with a life.
Well then, Doc, since you're the expert here, please enlighten me on your thoughts on
This
romance.
isn't about me.
What's next then?
I'd like to know more about you.
What do you want to know?
Talk more about the relationship with Brendan. Start from the beginning.
Well, once upon a time, I was set up with a blind first date. He came to my apartment. He wore a tie. I wore a dress. Everything was going right until he tries to give me a goddamn rose. I freeze and start to giggle because I feel uncomfortable. And he tries to hand me this beautiful flower, and I don't take it. I just stand there acting like flowers are beneath me, but I literally cried last week at the Bachelor during the rose ceremony. Jesus Christ, here I am having my own freaking rose ceremony, and I can't act like a normal girl.
How about we try something else?
I always try something once.
Nathan stands and goes to a shelf, pulls a red rose from a vase, and extends his arm and flower toward Lucy.
What are you doing?
Take this from me. What about trying something once?
Lucy snatches the rose from Nathan's hand. She looks at it, then back at Nathan.
Now what?
Sniff it. Yes, smell the flower.
You want me to smell the flower?
Do I have a stutter?
Lucy sniffs the rose while looking at Nathan. She pulls the flower away from her face while still looking at Nathan.
Oh, wait.
Lucy jumps from Nathan's reaction.
Did you lose consciousness, or did you burst into flames after you sniffed the rose?
Lucy is unamused.
Looks like you did.
What is this supposed to do?
It's how I work.
Smelling flowers is how you work.
Did you expect anything less from a romance psychiatrist?
Sorry. That's unsorry.
Oh, so now you're being insensitive.
I'm not being insensitive, but romance therapy is pretty uncommon. It sounds like
Then why are you here?
Excuse me?
Why are you here if it's uncommon?
I was
it's
just
ridiculous?
saying that.
Did you come here voluntarily?
Yes.
So then you're here because you're wanting something out of this.
Maybe?
Then trust me. And let me show you 1 or 2 things that might be able to help the next time you're feeling overwhelmed by romance. Let me show you how romance does not need to be superficial or overrated, but how it can sweep you off your feet and into a world you've probably never been able to experience because you're closed off to it.
Okay. Let's continue then.
All right. Now, where do you think all this resentment towards romance began? Have you
Oh, please don't ask me to explain why I feel this way about romance. I don't have an answer. I don't have some tragic story where my mommy and daddy didn't hug me enough when I was a kid. I wasn't raised to hate romance. Hell, my parents had a sappier relationship than Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca. You know, my dad makes my mom breakfast in bed every Sunday morning, and he'll still rub her feet and surprise her with flowers for no reason at all. And my mom doesn't freeze with fear when my dad does any of this stuff.
Sounds like he's head over heels for her.
I catch him sometimes just looking at her. He looks at her like she hasn't aged a day in her life.
Lucy stays quiet for a moment, looking out of the window of Nathan's office.
And my mom still writes little notes for my dad in his lunch with doodles of little turtles and Elvis Costello lyrics. And she still laughs at the same 5 jokes that my dad repeats over and over again. And it's not even like a fake laugh. She still believes he's funny. And they still tell each other, I love you every day.
They love each other very much.
I know that.
What makes you happy, Lucy?
I don't know. Lots of things, I guess.
Pick one. Something simple. One little thing that automatically places a smile on your face.
I love dancing.
Dancing. What sort of dancing?
Just like to dance. Not like on stage, but like at like a wedding or like celebration. Just a dance floor and a good song.
Nathan smiles at Lucy. A look that says Nathan has an idea appears on his face.
What? Nathan, what is it?
Nathan opens his iPhone and plugs an aux cord into the phone. Music starts to play.
Come on, Lucy. Come on.
I'm not dancing.
I'm not stopping till you dance with me.
Oh my god.
Nathan continues to dance. He tries to hold back laughter.
Not as much fun dancing on your own, man.
Fine, but only because this is a good song.
All right, good.
Teens are dancing all around Nathan's office, lip-syncing to the words, flailing arms, energy increasing. The two of them are on fire.
No!
What do you mean?
I just wanted to see you smile.
Oh, wow. Oh, that was crazy.
How do you feel?
Good.
Good.
Oh, wow, I haven't laughed that hard since, well, a while.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah?
Don't you think that you can let other things make you feel this way?
Like what?
Not closing yourself off to others.
I don't know.
Why not just try it? I promise you won't regret this.
It's not that I don't want to. I have been every time, but every time it's the same. I already know the results. It's always the same thing. You give your heart to somebody just so they can trick you into believing they're keeping your heart safe. And then when you least expect it, they crush your heart until every bit of passion and joy is drained and tossed aside like excess oil from a frying pan. I'm just the fat that nobody wants. Even if you've been friends with this person for years and have sacrificed and given every bit of yourself, you'd do anything to make them happy because that's what makes you happy. But they never pick you. It sucks when you're never anybody's first choice.
You don't deserve that.
How can you say that? You don't know me at all.
You're right. I don't know you at all. All I know is a girl with a wall built up of sarcasm and judgment, like somebody offering you a flower or holding your hand. Some people would say you're a bitch for the way you react to people who are affectionate to you, or the way you make absurd assumptions about people who have two first names, saying they're untrustworthy. People say you're closed off and cold-hearted because you've clearly been hurt by somebody you trusted and let yourself open up to it, and now you're scared.
You're right then, I'm a bitch.
You may be all these things, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that you're a person who has a heart. Despite how much you may try to hide it, and nobody should feel like they can't be somebody's first thought when they wake up and the last thought before they go to sleep.
Lucy is quiet.
You're not making this easy.
I never said it was easy, but it's worth it. Let me show you, Lucy. Give me the chance to show you.
Lucy stands and walks towards the door as if she was going to leave. She
You
stops.
can't run from it forever,
I
Lucy.
just can't do this right now.
You don't want to do that.
Please stop it.
Why do you keep running?
Because I'm scared. You're right, okay? I'm scared. I've been scared for a long time. I really don't want to be like this. I hate these feelings so much, but how can I do this to myself? There's no way from keeping your heart from getting hurt.
It doesn't have to be like that, you know.
I don't want it to be.
I can't promise that your heart won't be broken or hurt again, but I can assure you that allowing it to feel is much better than closing it off, even if it risks getting hurt.
Well, I guess you're the expert, right?
What do you say?
I always try something once.
I'll see you next week.
The two smile at each other. End of play.